Welcome back. Okay, first of all, we're going to start with all of our electrical switches here. There's a lot to learn, so pay attention. You have a use and store button. This is your battery disconnect right here. What that does is, if you were going to put this unit in storage, you would go to store and store your RV. But you guys are on vacation, so you won't use that. However, if someone does hit the store button, it'll disconnect the power inside the coach. So make sure it is in the use position, okay? Here are your two awning switches right here. Out and in will bring in one awning or the other awning. Your step switch, if you don't want the steps to go in and out every time you open the door, you flip the switch to the other position, and while you're stationary, the steps will stay out once you open the door. The engine, however, will override the steps once the door is closed and will retract the steps so that you're not driving with the steps out. Here is your patio light. Here is your interior lights above my head in the kitchen area. And these two switches right here are for your awning LED lights. All right. Here is your auto gen start. Don't worry about that. And here's your inverter. What the inverter does is, when you're not hooked into your campsite or your generator is not on, you can still run your power. This inverter will take your 12-volt DC power and convert it to 110 power, so all of your components and accessories inside will work. However, it will drain your battery, so use it wisely. Monitor your battery panel above my head to see how much power you have left, or you can simply look and see right here we have 13.1 volts. Okay, so just know that this will drain your batteries very quickly. Your refrigerator also works off of your inverter if your generator is off or you're not plugged in at a campsite. All right, that covers that. Let's step inside and talk about what's going on in the front. So with our engine on, once you get to where you're going, you've stopped, everybody's just got done settled in, and you want to run the rooms out, you need to let your hydraulics down. You have your engine on, your parking brake engaged, and you turn it on. Right now the jacks are down, so it says jacks down. Alright, you want to bring them back up or let them back down, you hit auto level to go ahead and raise the RV back up, and it'll do it on its own. Push the auto level, it'll do it on its own. You want to retract the jacks, you hit retract, enter, and it'll drop down. Make sure though, when you do retract your jacks, that the slide rooms are all in. You don't want to do that with the rooms out, because it may cause some damage. Alright? You also have mirror heat. The mirrors are electrics, so you can control it just like you would in a car. All the rest of this stuff over here is synonymous with an actual vehicle. But however, you do have an emergency start. Let's say that you left the lights on and your engine battery was dead. Well, you have another set of batteries for the house. You hold this button down, and at the same time you crank your engine, and those other batteries will give your engine battery a jump. Okay? Air conditioning here. You have dash fans for up here. You have cab lights for up there. Also, you also have a generator start button here, and you have a generator start button there. Take your pick on which one you want to use. It's your choice. And you have dock lights. While your engine is on, you put your left blinker on or your right blinker on, a camera will come on so that you can see what's going on the side. Alright? It also will go back to the radio mode, control the volume exactly how you should. Air conditioning, storage, 12 volts, you got a USB right here, and then your regular 12 volt outlet. These are motorized up here, and the nightshade button is over here on your left. You just hit the button and it'll go down in front of you. Okay? All these compartments up here are just for storage. You want to run your bed down. First, you have these travel pins that you must pull out. They simply slide into the corresponding hole, pop into place. That takes the tension off of the bed while you're driving. So when you get to where you're going, you pull this one out, and then you also have another one on the other side that you pull out. If you'll notice above here, there's about 3/4 of an inch of space. That's where you want to keep it. You don't want to run this all the way up to the roof as to where it starts to crack or pop the roof. You want to keep this little gap in there so that your pins will fall right into place when you slide them in. To run the bed down, First, we must have the engine off, and you simply hit lower. All right. The bed is going to go down all the way until it stops. It'll stop about right here, and then outside there's a ladder that you hook on so that whoever wants to get up there can. Again, you raise it up, and you're going to stop it when it's almost at that 3/4 inch mark, right before it hits the roof. Right there. Drop your pins in, and you're done. Now onto your control panel. You have propane status. We looked earlier, and it was right around half. So here's your indicator. It's always smart to just go outside and check to see what you have anyway, because sometimes these are a little off. Battery power is fully charged. Your freshwater tank is 2/3 full. That's the same tank that we looked at that was 100 gallons. Your black tank in the rear, gray tank in the rear, gray mid, and black mid are all empty. As you start filling up those tanks, toilet tanks or the sink and shower water, these corresponding lights to whichever button you push will start to illuminate more. Here's your generator hours. Again, here's how you start the generator. You're going to hold the stop button until the red light comes on. That primes the engine. Once it's primed, you hold the start button until the generator is all the way on. Your water heater, you have two choices. You can either heat by propane gas, or you can use 110 volts. If you're driving down the street and your generator is not on, this is not an option. So you'll have to use your gas. If it's 110 degrees outside and you're in the desert, you're plugged in at a campsite, you may want to still use the gas because now you're putting an unnecessary load from the outside. So this is to your discretion, use as you will. Alright, and then you have your water pump switch. While you're driving, commuting, wherever you're at, if you're not hooked up to city water, you want water to be pulled from that large tank to all of your water fixtures, you must have the water pump on. If you are plugged in at a campsite and you do not want, you have water service, then you don't need the water pump because city water pressure will take over. Here are your slide out extension buttons. They're simply marked extend or retract. Each one goes to the corresponding 3 slides. When you are moving this large slide out here, you want to make sure that the back of your chair is leaned forward so that the person that was driving does not scratch the back of this up when it moves forward. So just lean it forward. Let's keep this nice and pretty, okay? All these seats all swivel, all the controls are on the side. To move this table down to convert it into a bed, there's a lever underneath here that you must swing across. Do it like that, and then the table will lower. First you must take these up, and the table will stop here and here. After you get the table down, then you put these back in, and you take these back cushions and you fill the gap on the table. Alright. To convert this into a bed, these were here, you pull them off. Here's all your remotes. We keep all of the remotes up here. So I'll show you how to program that in just a sec. You grab this strap, you pull it over, be careful. You fold this down, let it fall into place. You lay it down like that. The air mattress is under here. You just go ahead and blow that up and sit it there. Reverse operation, raise it up, fold this over. And put your cushions back into place. Alright, coming back up here to the front, we have an exhaust vent. If you simply start retracting it, the fan will automatically come on. There's multiple fan speeds from 0 to 3. So you just choose the one that you want. Alright? You have storage up here. And sink. Alright. Under here is all more storage. If you want to lift this up, you can. Just pop it up until it goes into place. This is real Corian countertops or whatever it's made of, so be very careful with it because it will break. To light your stove is simple. Each one of these goes to the corresponding head, turn it to light, and you simply spark it. Okay, just like that. If you needed to light the oven, you turn your dial to the next position where it says pilot. You push and you hold it. At the same time, you're going to take your long lighter and you're going to find the thermocouple in the back. And you're going to put that lighter right on it. It's just like lighting a water heater. So while you're lighting that, you're going to hold it there for maybe 20 seconds. After you take it away, if the flame stays, then it's ready and you just dial in your temperature. To turn it off, you turn it all the way to the off position. Microwave, full size. Okay? Your refrigerator is a full-size fridge also. Alright, it's a nice fancy big giant refrigerator. It will only work if your generator is on, if you're plugged in at a campsite, or if your Xantrex inverter is on. Now remember, this is going to take energy. So if you're not plugged into anything, those batteries are going to only be inverted for so long before they start wearing down. So just be careful of how long you have this going or what you have in there. Alright. TV. TV gets great reception. To program it, simply go to menu, go to channel, go down to auto scan, make sure you have it in air, hit OK, and then start your scan. So you're only going to do that when you get to the next town where you want to dial in on their digital free channels. Okay? That's how easy that works. All the TV is going to work very similar to that operation. You also have a little fake fireplace, but it does put out heat. I would not use it in the summer. You can turn it on and just get the ambiance of the flame, but you don't actually have to turn the heat on. There's a remote for that where you can manually turn it off here. There's one thing I forgot underneath this table over here is your LP detector, and it sits up underneath on the wall. Okay, if something starts beeping in the middle of the night, middle of the day, maybe you've smoked out something, either it's hairspray, whatever it is, that is going to beep, and there's a push button reset on it. Alright. Up here we have our DVD player. Simply put, the eject button is here, opens up, use it as a DVD player. You have your antenna. Okay? The antenna is going to get your local channels. So if you're in a large area, you may not need to raise it up. But if you're a little bit further outside the city limits and you do your auto scan and you get nothing, go ahead and raise it up. Okay? Be very careful with this. It's made of plastic, so you can crank it up nice and slow. It shouldn't be very much resistance at all. When it stops, the antenna is all the way up. Okay? There, it's all the way up. Now, if you needed to tweak your reception, there's two arrows on this side that you can't see from your angle, but they're lined up together. If you want to tweak your reception, you pull this down and you spin it, alright, until your reception is perfect. So then you release it back. Before you lay the antenna back down, you want to line these two arrows back up. So you pull it down and line them up perfectly. The antenna has a cradle that it needs to fall into on the roof, and if you don't line these two up, it will not fall into its cradle, and you may end up doing some damage. And you lower it back down nice and slow. You'll hear a little thump, and that's it hitting the roof. Okay, that's how that works. Here you have your bunk area. You have two TVs. The remotes are again over there, and you have lights for each one. Alright. You have your air conditioner. For the front AC, works just like the standard one in the house. Cool, off, heat, auto on, and 2 speeds. You also have multiple light switches. To get your privacy, pull down, release the door, and slide it all the way across. In our bathroom, you can see that we have a step button instead of a hand flusher. You want to flush it like that first. Depending on what you need to do, you fill it up with a little bit of water, use the restroom, and you flush it all the way down. This is made of plastic, so be careful how hard you step on it, and warn everyone else that it is plastic. Before you go on your trip, you want to treat your RV with these chemicals. So half a bottle is recommended to put down in there for any smells. If you're going to be dumping every other day, that's fine. You may not need this, but if you're going on a long trip, this is going to help break down the toilet tissue and the smells. So half a bottle before it's used. If you dump outside, another half a bottle. So this is a pre-treatment. Right, you have 4 rolls of RV tissue. Right, not the finest stuff, but you have 4 rolls of RV septic safe tissue. You can buy more of this at Walmart in the camping section. This is the only kind of stuff that's allowed down in this hole as far as paper waste goes. All right. Another thing, while you're at a campsite, if you're hooked in 100% of the time, you do not want to leave the valves open all the time. You want to let the water build up so any solid waste can fall down in there and be flowing out at the same time. All right. The other side here we have our cabinets, open like so, and our water fixtures, light switch. There's a fan up here, okay, black switch, and a dial that opens up the vent. Do not drive with the vent open. It's made of plastic, and you don't want that wind shaking it until it breaks. There's a GFI reset right here, and also an electrical outlet. So if your outlets start doing something crazy, come over here and check your power. Reset that. Hopefully everything will start working again. If not, give us a call during our open hours. All right, moving further back. We have a bunch of storage in here. We have a radio. I believe this is Bluetooth enabled, and this should control the speakers outside also. All right, so you just hook your phone into that, test it out. It's got A/B selection of speakers, and you can use the speakers outside. Another TV here, king size bed, storage. The lights turn on right there at the fixtures. There's USBs on this side over here, none on this side over here. Your air conditioning. If you want to get air directly in here, you open these and it'll drop the air down here. But if you want the airflow to go into the ductwork, you close these off, and now it pushes the airflow that way and this way into the bathroom. And that works for both of them. All right. Here's another thermostat for the rear air conditioner, light switch. And then the bathroom is going to work exactly the same as the other. You have your step switch, your lights, toilet, paper, chemicals, vent, your vanities,